5,
Yay.
4, 3, 2, 1. We are live now. See the little red thing
live.
Says we're live. All right, so welcome back to another weekly live Q&A with Sandy here on the Supplement Engineer YouTube channel. This is our third one in a row, and I think we're going to keep running this basically until you go back to school.
Yay.
Which is going to be what? When do y'all start back?
August.
What are we going to do? What's our game plan for that?
I don't know. We can do it live. We could just do it later in the day.
Yeah, so we finish what, like 3:45 or so?
Yeah, like 4:30.
Okay, so then we'll do 4:30. We'll pick up the halfling from daycare at 6.
Sounds good to me.
We're gonna have to do a short quickie. We'll make it a quickie.
We'll make it work.
Yeah. So anyway, all right. So let's start off this week by talking about a question that we got from Devin last week, which is, does sweating equate to fat loss? I like that.
All right. Does sweating equate to fat loss? I feel like people would think that the more you sweat, the more calories you're burning. You're working harder if you're sweating.
Yeah. But does it actually mean the fact that you're sweating, does it mean that you are losing fat?
Okay, can I just state for the record that people have different sized sweat glands? I know this because of hyperhidrosis. I think is that what
Hydrosis.
Hyperhidrosis. That's it. Where people's pores, their sweat glands can be bigger than other people's, so they can sweat more. But that's just because their body naturally has larger sweat glands.
Right, but that
doesn't mean
that is
that
completely separate from fat loss. That's a separate part of physiology.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So sweating, I don't think actually does equate to even how hard you're working. Do you know what I mean? Like
Correct.
even how hard you're working out.
What is the function of sweat in the body? Do you know?
To cool you off.
Exactly. Okay. So let's assume that you are outside and it's like here in Austin, Texas, it's 110 degrees in the middle of the summer.
Yeah.
And you're sweating. Are you actually losing fat right there? Or is your body making
your body's just trying to cool you?
Exactly. It's trying to keep your core temperature down. Now, sweating can be an indicator of the intensity with which you're working during the training session, okay? So if you're sweating a lot, that may mean that you are pushing yourself at a high intensity, which means you are burning a lot of calories.
Because your body is hot and you're trying to cool it off.
But that's
sweating.
The sweating is the cooling off part. So it might be an indicator
reaction
that you're working. But it has no way, shape or form, meaning that it is making you lose fat. So just because you sweat a lot when you're training doesn't actually mean you're losing fat, because what's going to be the primary driver of fat loss at the end of the day is how much you sweat. No, it's going to be how much of a calorie deficit that you're in, because calories are king when we're talking about weight gain or weight loss. If you're eating less calories than you burn in a day, that puts you in a calorie deficit, so a negative energy balance. So you're going to be losing weight.
Yeah.
You're consuming more calories than your body requires. That's going to put you in a surplus or a positive energy balance, which means you will gain weight if you continue to do that day after day after day after day. So to kind of answer Devin's question from last week, sweating does not inherently mean that you are losing fat. Its primary function of the body is to cool you off. It can be an indicator that you are having a hard workout, which means you might be burning more calories.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you're not in a deficit, it doesn't matter how much you sweat. You're still not going to lose any fat.
That's the thing I was going to say. So your body naturally, when you're in a calorie deficit, it pulls from your fat.
Yes.
Okay.
To satisfy.
It doesn't pull from muscle. It doesn't pull from.
Well, that's why we do a couple of things when we're in a diet phase. That's why we lift weights.
Okay.
We do perform resistance training. Even if you don't want to lift weights, you could do push-ups, squats, pull-ups, body weight exercise. Some form of resistance training is necessary, as is adequate dietary protein intake. Somewhere in the range of most of the evidence-based recommendations
80%.
are when you're in a deficit, your body is more in a heightened state of, or it's got a greater propensity to break down muscle tissue. So you want to consume at least 1 gram
per pound
of muscle tissue, and then go upwards up to like 1.2 grams per pound. So
I'm cutting calories, but I need to up the amount of protein that I eat in a caloric deficit if I want to maintain the strength. And I don't, and all I want to do is focus on losing the fat. Like I was like, hey, body, get rid of the fat. Don't get rid of the muscle. So I need to eat enough protein.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, the supplement industry has made it a little bit overstated in the amount of how willing the body is going to be to break down muscle tissue. But, you can go as far as aggressive. The studies have shown that up to like 25% of a calorie deficit. So if you consume,
if you have 2,000 calories, you're saying 1,500.
You could eat 1,500 provided that you're consuming enough dietary protein a day, like 1 to 1.2 grams per pound.
Yeah.
That is about as aggressive a deficit as you can run and not lose any significant amounts of muscle.
Like tissue. What about my endurance though? Like I'm doing a workout.
It's gonna be going to shit.
Okay. So the calorie deficit will affect me in other ways other than just eating away at my fat.
Yes, because it's gonna make you more lethargic. It's gonna make you have brain fog. it's going to and the body's got several other kind of like adaptive mechanisms. So while you may get up the energy to go work out, other things that may happen, like metabolic adaptation, will occur that you're going to start fidgeting less because your body's running low on energy. And really, this really affects people when they're getting into like physique level stages of leanness, like when they're getting down to like single digit body.
Yeah, what was that girl's name that was friends with CJ? The girl that we went to go see her at the bodybuilding thing. No, the blonde.
Beth.
I remember watching her and she was really, 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 really looking good. But then I see her go in the back and she is weighing out a spoonful of peanut butter.
Yeah, she was in prep.
And I felt horrible for that human being right there. I thought, and she was just like eating her spoonful of peanut butter. I felt so bad for her.
Yeah.
But she looked good.
So a few things you can do when you're doing that to try and maintain your workout intensity. Obviously, sleep starts with everything, but then also shift more of your carbohydrates to that peri-workout window. So have a good chunk of your carbs before your training session,
so that you don't get exhausted.
Right, and then eat some on the back end and make sure you've got protein before and after.
Yeah, lots of protein though.
Yeah, that's going to be the most important thing. Resistance training and consuming enough protein.
I didn't realize you needed to up your protein when you lowered your calories. Like when you were in a calorie deficit, I didn't realize it was important to actually up your protein. I just thought it was important to maintain your protein.
Well, you might not necessarily be upping it if you're already eating a gram per pound.
I'd be upping.
I think most guys typically already eat or at least 1 gram per pound of protein.
Women don't.
Not more. Well, yeah. Well,
that's not in their natural. They don't do that.
Well, what do you see most of the teachers eat at lunch at school?
A lot of them eat leftovers, and then sometimes they eat those little lean cuisine. You know, like those little. I don't know if it's like they go to Trader Joe's.
Fit Kitchen or something.
A lot, and it's the thing. Yeah, like those little meal prep things where you just microwave it, and they eat it, and it's got X amount of whatever. But I don't think that those meal prep things have 30 or 35 grams of protein. They might have 15 to 20.
Not even close.
And when I eat lunch, I'm eating 30 to 40 grams of protein because you make it for me. So I'm lucky enough to have Body by Robert.
There you go. That'll be the mega $1 million
Body by Robert.
Yeah. Scott tunes into the Fridays every week that I do with Steve, the lives that we do with Steve. And so he sent us, I believe he lives in Scotland, and he sent me a list of a bunch of different scotches that we need to try. So.
Well, here's the problem with scotch. I think before I enjoy a good scotch, I've got to first appreciate a cigar. I think that scotch tastes it's too smoky. It's what's that P word? Peaty. It's too peaty. And if I can enjoy a cigar, then I think I could enjoy a scotch. I just don't think I'm there yet. But I mean, that's the truth.
What I find interesting, okay, so remember when we watched that Scotch documentary?
Yeah.
And they say they take the charred American oak bourbon barrels.
Bourbon barrels.
So what the hell did the Scots do for all of those years
before bourbon?
Whiskey, before American
that's a good question, because that's what they do with Scotch now. They make it using bourbon barrels.
Right.
No bourbon, no Scotch.
Yeah, and
where did the Scotch
America's still the new kid on the block, so
yeah, that's weird.
What were those wily Scots doing way back then?
I don't know. I mean, did they have Scotch back then? They had before
whiskey.
Bourbon?
I mean, they had whiskey back in, 1776 when we got officially founded. So before that, yeah, Scotland's been around a lot longer than that. I'm sure they were distilling stuff.
Okay. I have a question here for Scott.
Well, let's answer his question.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I have a question for Scott based on his question.
Okay.
Go ahead and read the question out loud.
Oh, man, I have no hair to dry it up. You're bald, Scott. I'm sorry. Or you shave it either way. You don't have any hair in there. During training, I drip like a broken freezer of intensity. How were you both anyway? Okay.
So I was actually going to say, so I don't know if I'm like, it's kind of gross, but like the hyperhidrosis, like I said, some people's pores are bigger than others. And so there is this thing called Certain Dry, and it's spelled dry incorrectly, DRI. Mm-hmm. And what it does is you put it on before you go to bed, and it's recommended for people's armpits and their hands or their feet. If they have really sweaty hands, like my mom, oh, it's so gross. She has the sweatiest hands that every time she drives, she has to put the AC on her hands. And like, we're Catholics, so we would do a lot of the handshaking at church and the peace be with you. I'm like, Mom, your hands, the nasty. So she sweats a lot on her hands. So anyways, Certain Dry was intended for people with those issues. And you can put it on your hands, you can put it on your feet, and you can put it on your underarms. And it shrinks your pore size such that it can almost close them up entirely. So when you read the box and you read the instructions that come with it, it specifically says you really shouldn't use this on more parts of your body, but the surface area of your armpits, right? In relationship to the entire body is fine. Could Scott use the surface area of his head? Because I'm imagining my hands If it's safe for me to use the surface area of my hands, would it be safe for me to use the surface area of my bald head? I feel like they're equivalent. Or if you took armpit surface area mathematically and then put it on, it'd be similar. So if he could, every night before he goes to bed, put certain dry on his head and then sleep the entire night, it shrinks your pores. And after 3 nights, first of all, it itches when you first use it. I just want to state for the record, it's not very comfortable. But after 3 days or 4 days, you're not sweating anymore. Worth it for him to try. Just because it's on his head shouldn't make a difference. Pore surface area is still pore surface area.
I would go talk to a dermatologist. I'm not sure if you have profuse sweating through your head and it's getting to a point where it's bothersome.
Yeah,
I would go talk to a doctor. I'm not going to recommend using a product for something for which it's not intended. I'm not going to recommend that. For hands and feet or armpits, but not all 3. Like you pick one. It doesn't say bald head or testicle, so we're not going to apply them in those areas.
See, but the testicles have small surface area too. So I feel like it's really less about the fact that I'm closing your pores and more about how does your body. Let me see. It would be nice if a side effect was hair growth. Actually, I think the side effect is not hair. Like, I don't think there's a side effect of not hair growth, but I think because it's closing, I don't know if it has a side effect of it, but I think you'll just be bald and sweat-free, Scott, is what I'm offering you. Certain dry. Certain as in you're certain you're going to be dry, and dry spelled incorrectly, DR.
Yeah. We got to be, we don't know if they sell that in Scotland, though.
It's American.
Yeah, it is. We'll export it to you along with some bourbon barrels for use.
I don't know. Food for thought. That's what I'm. Okay, let me tell you something about me personally. As a math teacher, I'm always looking for a solution. That doesn't go away in life. In life, I'm always finding a solution. And I get very frustrated when someone says, oh, that's just the way it is. Or could I do something about it? I'm the kind of person that always wants to find a solution. Always. So if somebody says they have a problem, like Scott, I feel like we should be able to help him come up with a solution.
Yeah.
So I'm a fixer.
Okay.
That's what I do.
Yeah. Scott, you may also want to try avoiding any kind of like super thermogenic ingredients in your pre-workout too. Anything like a paradoxine or black pepper extract, even capsaicin, Capsomex, any of those kind of GBB. You know, that's getting thrown in freaking everything and nobody understands how it works. It just makes this incredibly like hot.
See, okay, that's what I don't understand. I don't like it when my ears get burny. And you said people like it because it makes them feel like it's working. I was like, it's uncomfortable. Like I don't feel like it's working so much as I feel uncomfortable. Is that what I don't want to feel uncomfortable when I'm working out. I don't put it this way. I don't need something to tell me that I'm working hard. I don't need like a monitor or something to like tell me, oh, I'm working out. I can tell when I'm working out. I know how to push myself.
Do you?
Yes. And most of the time I don't. No excuses. I'm letting you know for real. Sometimes I'm thinking, nope.
So in those instances, what would it take? Is it a matter of you chose the wrong pre-workout? And I'm not going to blame it on pre-workout because a lot of times people say, well, you shouldn't need a pre-workout to go and train, and that's a whole other discussion. Okay. But so on those days when you're just not feeling it, do you feel like you maybe perhaps chose the wrong pre-workout, or are you just not in it mentally? There's nothing to do that could get you to that situation?
Because I think I agree with you. When I'm not in the mood to work out, caffeine or a caffeine-intensive pre-workout is not going to cut it for me. I need a nootropic because basically what the issue is my mindset. Yeah. I don't feel like working out. That's a mindset. That actually has nothing to do with my body. It's a mindset. And what I need is to shift my mindset into hey, wouldn't it be really fun to work out? And sometimes it doesn't seem like it's fun for me to do that. Yeah. But I have been not in the mood to work out. You give me a pre-workout, and I'm hoping that after sipping this thing, somehow I'm going to be inspired to work out. And all I do is have a fast heartbeat. Like it doesn't change. And I'll take a nap. That happens a lot of times. If I don't feel like working out, I'll just go nap.
That happened last week after last Wednesday's live. You
I didn't feel like working out.
That Polish vodka, and
I napped. I love napping. Let me tell you why I nap. And that's the funny thing. At my high school, we had this whole week on suicide prevention. And one of the things they said is like, if you're depressed, you love to sleep. And I thought, but I love to sleep, but I don't think I'm depressed. I just love sleep. But I think so hard when I have the opportunity to think. Like I just said, I'm always a problem fixer. So even in a casual conversation, someone says something, my mind is running like, how can I fix it? How can I fix it? Yeah. So I'm thinking a lot. I'm exhausted. If I don't have something to occupy my mind, See that? That was silence. If I just have that, I'm gonna go to sleep. I just gotta go to sleep.
Yeah.
It's hard.
But your mind never seems to like that because you will ask me, what do you think about it? And I'll say nothing. And you've got
Yeah.
a billion things running through your mind.
Yeah, I don't know how he does that. I don't know how you can just think of nothing. I think of everything. I'll run through movies in my head. I'll be watching a movie. I'll be listening to music in my head. I'll be thinking about this, then that. Like it all links together. And I don't know how you just.
In certain instances, like if I'm watching a movie, I'll just focus on that.
Nope, I'm thinking when I'm watching the movie too.
Are you thinking about other things?
No, I'm thinking about the movie, and then I'm thinking, what would I do in that situation? And then I can't believe they did it. And then sometimes I'll go off on a tangent. Oh, I think that actress was in this movie. And
I wish there was
Happens
some technology that could shrink me down to like Ant-Man size, and then I could just
you
like,
could see what goes on
jump
in
in
my
your brain and
mind.
see what the hell goes
So,
on in
okay,
there.
here's an invention. Somebody make this up. Somehow make this happen. I'm sick or I'm sore. When we work out together, sometimes something feels tweaky and you're like, it's not tweaky, it's just tight. I'm like, I don't know, it feels kind of tweaky because tweaky feels like I could injure it. What I wish I could do is plug in to my body and into your body, and I could help you feel what I feel. So that, because sometimes I can't explain it. I'm like, no, it's like, you're like, oh, it's probably this. I'm like, I don't think it's that. So I'd like it if I could just make you feel my pain. And then if you're a physical therapist, you could say, oh, I see where you're hurting. Let me fix it. Or if you're a doctor and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that is really bad. We should do something. You know how they say, they ask you on a scale of 1 to 10, how's your pain? What if you have a really high pain tolerance? What if you have a really weak pain tolerance? That tells me more about who you are as a person than how much pain you're in. Like, it doesn't tell me.
Yeah.
So if I could just find some way to like feel your pain, then husbands could sympathize with their wives when they go into labor. Just plug them in.
I always sympathize with your needs, honey.
Plug them in, ladies.
I sympathize with your needs.
It's okay. I had a C-section. I don't know what it feels like. I still never had a contraction.
Nope, you were nice and
God
drugged up.
knows not to do that to me.
You had gas. And you
Pain-
thought you were going into labor and you thought you were going to die.
I have a very low pain tolerance, which is why I can't really, like I could work out harder. I'm like, that hurts.
Well, see, that's one of the reasons that people supplement with caffeine, because we've got all this data on caffeine and improving exercise performance. And that's one of the main mechanisms by which it works, is that it reduces perceived exertion.
Oh,
and improves
perceived
pain
exertion.
tolerance. So a lot of people will think it maybe it's by improving blood flow or calcium in the body, like calcium release. There we go. I was trying to figure out the word. Calcium release in the body to make for stronger contractions of the muscle fibers. It's not really that. It's mostly like wakefulness promoting properties by inhibiting adenosine in the brain, reducing perceived exertion, and improving endurance, which is basically, reducing fatigue, which is another way of saying
I'm
that.
starting to feel like perception is everything.
Yeah.
Like, perception is reality. It doesn't matter if you're a nice person if everybody thinks you're an a-hole. If everybody thinks you're an a-hole, you're an a-hole. I'm sorry. It's just perception is reality. And so if I perceive that I can keep going and I'm really, really strong, then I'm going to keep going. But if I feel like,
Well, there was a new study that came out on the topic of caffeine, which they just did it in male soccer players. So we've got a bunch of different caffeine studies. It's one of the most extensively studied compounds, drugs, sports.
Is this a
performance
newer
supplements on there.
article?
Yeah, it just got published.
Interesting.
2020 this month, June 8th. So it's titled "Caffeine Supplementation is Ergogenic in Soccer Players Independent of Cardiorespiratory or Neuromuscular Fitness Levels."
Woo.
So they took 20 male soccer players, gave them placebo or 6 milligrams per kilogram of caffeine, which.
So I think 60 kilograms is about like 120, 130 pounds.
So much here. We'll run these numbers real quick.
So you said how many milligrams per kilogram?
6 milligrams per kilogram.
So it'd be like 6 times 60. That's 360 milligrams.
Let's take an 80 kg athlete.
Okay.
So that's times 2.2, which is 176 pounds.
Yeah.
Times 6 milligrams per kilogram. That's not right. Okay.
No, you multiply it times pounds instead of kilograms. Just take the kilograms and multiply it times
so
6.
All right, 80 kg athlete times 6. So that's 480 milligrams.
That's not that much.
Well, no, but a lot of the times you'll see people saying anything over 300 milligrams is unnecessary or not.
Oh.
But the body of caffeine literature shows that anywhere between like 3 milligrams to 6 milligrams per kilogram is where the real ergogenic benefits of caffeine are.
So it's like this perfect balance.
Yeah, well, even upwards, they've done some stuff in female judo athletes, I believe, even up to like 9 milligrams per kilogram, which
That's a lot.
Yeah, and they've done 9 milligrams per kilogram in males too. And provided you're already like caffeine habituated, so you're used to using it, it doesn't have any adverse effects on cardiovascular fitness. It doesn't decrease your endurance. Exactly.
Oh my God, you're drinking so much caffeine. Someone's drinking a lot of sodas or they're drinking a lot of coffees. Oh my God, that's so much caffeine.
Right.
So I think people are
Yeah.
scared. Okay, so
So
this is
what they did. They found out that time to exhaustion, jump height, heart rate, plasma glucose, and lactate all were higher, while rating of perceived exertion was lower. So and this was independent of the individual's cardiorespiratory or neuromuscular fitness. So regardless of how fit they were going into this, taking 6 milligrams per kilograms of caffeine improved their performance, regardless
Does it say
of what their base level
like
of fitness was.
how far before working out, or was this just it was just part of their body? They drink it in the morning and then they
No,
do this in the
usually they
afternoon?
dose at about 60 minutes prior to. I'll pull from.
I was
this
kind of
and
curious
see.
about that to see.
Experimental design. Each trial included 3 22-minute periods, which is equivalent to 1/4 of a 90-minute soccer game. Running speeds.
I got to tell you something, man. I don't like running. Or I'm sorry, jogging. I don't like running either. I'm terrible at running, but I don't like jogging or running.
I'm not seeing where the.
I'm just curious. See, when it comes to the scientific studies, I'm always curious about, and I think that they should always, every scientific study out there should always be done 3 times.
Yeah.
It should be done with different people, but then all the other variables are the exact same. Just do it over and over and over again. That's my idea. After consuming that caffeine, double-blind, counterbalance math. Okay.
Yeah, so it doesn't say how far
Probably right
ahead
before
of that.
then, huh?
Yeah, I guess immediately prior, probably 30 to 16 minutes before. So they did 3 22.5-minute periods running at various speeds on a treadmill, simulating the cardiovascular demands of a soccer game.
Okay.
That sounds miserable because
That does sound miserable.
I hate to run. And then they followed running to exhaustion at a constant speed corresponding to 75% of their VO2 max.
Yeah, that's exhausting. I love it. How long could I run? You know how people are like, how long can you hold your breath underwater? I'd be curious to see how long I could full on run. Short.
You're talking about like all out sprint.
Yeah, like you watch those movies, like I said, like Mission Impossible, and he's like running to catch the guy, and he's got to run across town, and he's running.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. I'd be like, oh, he's gone. He's gone. I missed out.
Would anything entice you to ever take up running or sprinting?
No, I saw a girl jogging today. One of my little high school girls, I saw her like running, jogging. And I thought, oh, she's probably so proud of herself. You know, like, oh, I went on a run today.
Yeah.
I'm being fit. Like, good for you, girl. Bust those knees. Or you could do some push-ups. Whatever. Some jumping jacks.
Do you think she's doing it because she enjoys that?
I think she enjoys the idea that she's being healthy.
I was gonna say, do you think she
that's
actually
more than
enjoys the
anything.
act of running? Because some people enjoy running, and if you want to do running for that reason, sure. Like
Sure.
Steve and Fiona,
They
love
like
to
to
do
run.
their hike runs. They're running on the hiking trails.
Well,
and all
that's
that
different.
stuff.
Running through the woods makes me feel like I'm in an adventure movie like Lord of the Rings. I feel like I could go there.
Yeah, but I think for the other people, the narrative on which should be the focus or the priority in an exercise program, it's still so heavily slanted towards the cardiovascular side of things and not resistance training enough.
I was watching my America's Next Top Model, and one of the models was bigger, and the other girl said, well, you have to do cardio to lose weight. And I said, ooh, but this was like an older season. So, but I feel like that comment would still happen between 2 girls. One girl says I'm chubby and I need to figure out how to lose weight. And the other girl goes, we got to do cardio. And I don't ever see you doing cardio. And that's the conversation that ensued.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like the worst, it's like a whisper campaign. Do you know what a whisper campaign is? Okay, so it's basically where instead of, let's say you're at a conference and you really want this one product to sell.
Mm-hmm.
The whisper campaign is you go somewhere else on the conference floor and start casually saying loudly to someone else, oh my God, have you heard about that? I heard that they're running out because everybody loves it. Like, we got to go now. Let's go get it. And then they're saying it so other people can hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they do it all around, like, and they do it and they get a bunch of people to do it, or you just do it in different locations. Yeah. And so you're spreading the word by whispering. And so you get your product out there
so
and
it's
kind
fake
of
hype.
Yeah, it's fake hype. It's fake hype. And so I feel like the whisper campaign with running is just all over because it's not even for an intention. It's just the way we talk to each other, the way women talk to each other against men, and the things we say to each other are perpetuating lies. We're just perpetuating lies in everything that we say and do.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't like it.
Guys, as always, if you have questions here, we're going to keep bantering back and forth, Rob. If you have any questions related to supplements, nutrition, fitness, Sandy's favorite bourbon, or anything else, post them up as always. And if we don't see your question, it's not that we're ignoring it. A lot of the times on these little YouTube feeds, there's something goofy on the back end where it doesn't post your question. So if we're not ignoring you, because Steve and I will get that at least 5 or 6 times during our Friday rants with everything. So one thing I was curious about with you.
Do it.
So coming out of summer, you'll be transitioning to a new
Yes.
fitness routine or
We are.
regimen where you're going to keep your workouts more or less the same, but you're going to have to adjust
The
to
time.
working out. You know, typically right now we work out about 1 o'clock in the
Yeah.
afternoons, which is a good time. We've had our morning productivity hours, a little bit of time to relax, and the body's warmed up and, you know, ready to go. What do you perceive or think about, if anything, would be changing when you're going to start to switch to your 6 a.m. workouts?
Yeah, so we're changing that so that when I teach, I can focus on teaching and I can stay after school and I don't have to worry about shooting home to work out. Problem with that is I used to work out in the morning in Louisiana, if you remember. I was waking up earlier at like 5. And the problem is I love sleep and I love being comfortable. And as you know, working out isn't one of those things that brings me joy. I don't know if I don't get excited to work out the way that you do.
Right.
It doesn't, it's not good enough just as is.
Yeah.
I work out because I know it's good for me. That's the simple, it's just, you know, I take vitamins, like I do what's good for me because I know it's good for me and I'm trying to make good choices. So when I wake up early in the morning, I'm not sure how working out is going to work for me. I'm not sure if I'm going to have to swig something like a pre-workout, and I don't even know if I should on a fasted state where I haven't eaten anything for 8 to 10 hours or anything is the first thing I do when I wake up. I don't know if that's a good idea. If I should just make myself do it through sheer drive. That's going to be the hardest part, is getting started.
Yeah.
To be honest though, when I teach, that's the hardest part when I come home.
Mm-hmm.
I just came home from a long day at work. I'm tired. I'm just like sit. Because when I teach, I never sit. So the last thing I want to do is stay on my feet more and jump around and do it all over again.
Yeah.
So I feel like the motivation for me to work out will be better in the morning than after, but it's still going to be tough trying to get out of that bed.
Yeah. Do you think you should shift your hardest workouts to maybe the weekend then?
Yeah, the weekends are good because then you're there with me.
Yeah. Just grind through it all together. That'll be interesting because right now Sundays are our off day where we really don't do.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll walk around and
no, we don't do much.
some kind of activity, but there's no actual training going on that day. It's not an intervals day. It's not a resistance training day or anything like that.
It really is mental. We were talking about this the other day that I don't, you know, you watch Little Giants and he's like, working out is, I think he does the math wrong where he's like 80% physical and 20% this and 10% this. And the kid's like, what? But I think it's 90% mental. I think working out is almost everything mental and literally only barely is. And even when I'm doing my form, in order to get a good solid workout, I have to have a solid form. I have to have muscle memory. That's still my neurons in my brain. It's not even like my muscles. And so you call it muscle memory, but to me, it's still my brain. Right. I feel like working out is so much motivation and so much mental. And when Arnold Schwarzenegger talked about in his Pumping Iron, the last 2, every time he can't go any longer, he does 2 more. And he says he works for those last 2. And I think of Arnold Schwarzenegger when I'm doing my Bulgarian split squats holding 10 pounds. I'm like, guess I got to pump out 2 more for Arnold because he would. But I think it's a motivation thing. It's just all mental. I'm surprised that there's so many people in the fitness community. I think it's a beautiful thing that there's enough people that have their heads in the right space to do it.
Yeah.
Because I think everyone has different motivations as to what got them interested in working out to begin with. Were they athletic when they were younger and it just fed into who they are? Were they chubby and they have a low self-image? And so the last thing they would ever want to do is to not be fit. So that's what drives them? I don't really know.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'm just, you said your faculty is very fitness minded or health conscious.
Yep.
Do any of them, and I know this, but for the people out there that don't know, what modalities of exercise do they typically gravitate towards? And is there any education on the faculty's part or like the nutrition trainers at school teaching them about fitness? That's
a really good question. That's actually a really good idea. We have so many trainers at our school that work with our student athletes. We have so many good student athletes. They do programs. I've never once had a situation where they train the faculty on healthy habits. At the same time, a faculty is really intelligent. And I think more than that, they're active because they're teachers. Just to be clear, the teachers that we have, I mean, we're active just by being teachers. You're walking around all day. So you're not sedentary at all. Right. But they all eat relatively healthy. Like I said, if they're gonna go for the Trader Joe's, they're not eating the Hungry Man. They're eating the curry. Yeah. They're eating the, like a lot of times it's leftovers and it'll be like leftover steak and then potatoes and green beans. Like they're eating relatively healthy food. And I think that actually, that's why when I get older, I realize eating is really, really important. Yeah. And I know a lot of them bike a lot of them do run or row, or I mean, they do a lot more physical activities, hiking and stuff.
Mhm.
I don't see them in the gym.
No.
Not a lot of gym going out.
I wonder
there.
if regions opened up their gym to
Faculty?
if you would get more, because
Yeah.
the teachers could just run in there and get in a quick lift session after teaching for the day.
I have never seen. Well, I've never. Sorry, I'm thinking about the men. They're not lifters. Like that's not what they.
Not even close.
We have a decent amount of younger, thinner, skinny jean teachers.
Yeah.
Right. Like
Yeah.
like, you know, that listen to the like.
What was me music?
Well, it's like
Life's So Hard.
Christian. Well, no, but it's like Christian music, which is that same kind of version, like the guitar and the smooth.
Yeah.
I don't see them lifting a barbell. You know what I'm saying?
I see a guy
I don't see
crossing
them
his
drinking a pre-workout.
bourbon. Yeah. I don't
Okay.
even see him drinking bourbon either.
No, I don't.
They're drinking some kind of White Claw spritzer or something. If I see a guy
I
cross
love
his
my
leg and
faculty,
he's
but
wearing
I-
skinny jeans, I'm starting to.
I don't know why
Wonder.
guys cross their legs. I think it's weird.
Well, it just means there's not a lot going on.
Right? Like, shouldn't you not? I don't know. I guess I'm very traditional in that sense. Please don't cross your legs in front of me if you're a guy.
Yeah. I mean, you could do the figure four thing. That's okay.
Yeah,
If
the
start-
thing where you
if
put
start-
the ankle on
If you
the
start doing
knee.
like one over the other, that's a little.
I feel weird about
It's
that.
awkward. Yeah. I mean, there's stuff that gets in the way. That doesn't work. So you don't have any kind of pre-workout in there, do you?
Nope.
This is the second week in a row now. You're letting me down. We're
I don't
supposed to
need a
have
pre-workout.
You don't? Well, then you just.
Are we gonna work out after this?
Don't we always? Well,
I mean, I
one
didn't
of
last
us does
week.
always after these. So yeah, I'm trying to think what goodies have we gotten coming in. We got protein bars that we need to review.
Okay.
The Gatorade protein bars, which I got
My
off.
students eat those all
TJ's
the
site.
time.
Really, the
Mhm.
Gatorade ones?
Mhm.
Oh, okay, well good. What do they usually say?
They don't notice. It's like one of those things that their parent buys them, so they're just eating it. But they're totally fine with them. 20 grams of protein is usually it. Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's
Yeah.
usually pretty good.
Well, here we're gonna do a blind taste test right now.
Let's do it.
Might as well.
I think it's weird when a protein bar has the audacity to call itself a protein bar and yet it only has 10 grams of protein.
Like
Or
the
8.
outright bars?
Yeah, or like 8 grams. Well, like the outright bars, I don't really think of it so much as a protein bar. I think of it as a little snack.
Yeah.
Yep, 20 grams protein. I got a good memory.
So Gatorade did not send these out to us. We'll do the disclaimer here. Gatorade did not send
We
these
bought
out.
it.
I bought this with my own hard-earned money through the deal site at Fitness Deal News, which is my favorite and I think the best deal site for buying supplements and
Can
protein
I
bars and
just
all that good
say,
stuff.
this flavor, what is with almond butter? It doesn't taste good. I don't like almond butter.
What's
I
it?
like cashew butter, but I don't like almond butter.
Whey
What?
protein with almond butter, salty caramel is the flavor.
I mean, I'll try it, obviously.
Here, I'll
This
do
is
the-
not what my students eat. This is like flat.
Yeah, we'll do the rundown real quick. 220 calories per bar, 6 grams of fat, 24 grams of carbs, 1 gram of fiber, 9 grams of total sugars, including 8 grams of added sugar, 4 grams of sugar alcohol, 20 grams of protein. The protein blend is hydrolyzed whey protein isolate and milk protein isolate. Then we go to maltodextrin, almond butter, tapioca syrup, and all of the other stuff in there. It's sweetened with brown sugar and
Ooh.
stevia.
So most protein bars don't like to use brown sugar because it's the caloric addition, but I think it tastes so much better. Okay, so this is what it looks like. It's very thin, almost looks like a peanut brittle kind of thing going on. It's not
This
your
smells
typical.
pretty good.
It's not your typical protein bar. Look how
No,
thin that
It
is.
almost looks like
It's
a,
hard, kind of.
Yeah, you remember those RX bars that we tried? It's almost
Yes.
got like that.
Oh, my
kind of-
students love those RX
Those
bars.
are gross.
Oh, I mean, the dark chocolate one's fine. They're just eating dates. All right, let's do this. All right. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of almond butter. I don't think it's good.
Man, this
Oh,
is-
wow. This
this
is
is-
terrible texture. Oh, God.
That probably says all you need to know right there.
Oh, it's terrible. The audacity to make this. Gatorade. I don't even want to swallow it. I don't even want to swallow it. It's dry. It's sticky. It doesn't taste like anything. It tastes like I'm eating a dry, sticky cardboard. Ew.
This was really gross.
Ew. Caramel, my butt. You know caramel in here?
No, ma'am, that's
It's terrible.
a really bad chew.
This is
That's
terrible.
Horrible.
No, I'm not. Oh, blah, 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 blah.
This almost reminds me. All right, so rewind back to when we first moved into the apartments. When we first moved down to Texas, we had those BPI. They're little protein bars, and it was like freaking biting through shoe leather like those. It was stevia sweetened. We had those. It was cookies and cream flavor. You thought they were gross. I was eating them just because I needed to eat them.
Oh my God. And they discontinued.
Yeah, they discontinued.
I forgot about those. They were in the blue.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Blue and white wrappers, BPI Sports. which their stevia flavored protein bars were disgusting.
Wait, where's the brown sugar? Like, if they're gonna put brown sugar in here, why don't I taste it?
I don't
This
know,
tastes
but I
terrible.
mean,
Don't finish
this
it. Just throw it away. You just spent a lot of money on.
Well,
nothing.
I'm gonna eat them anyway, just because it's.
See, I don't understand how you do that. Why would you eat it if it's gross?
Because well,
I'll just eat it anyways.
in all fairness, this box of 12 bars was $8 on Amazon. So
I
that's
see
what,
why.
You know, TJ, thanks for the deal, but man, I'm not gonna recommend these. These are gross.
Might I say,
They're really
you could
bad.
use a little common sense and discernment that if it's 12 of these for $8, they're probably nasty.
Well, sometimes they're.
Could we not?
Well, no, sometimes it's closer to the expiration date too.
Use-
That's how I got all those Synfit bars that we got. They were going.
Okay, well, those Synfits are good.
See.
I was just gonna say, I mean, surely
Unless
there's a
it's the
reason
same
why they're so
flavor.
cheap.
Oh, this one is almond butter, so it's not salted caramel. It's almond butter.
The flavor is almond butter.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the other one didn't taste like caramel. I have no intention of trying that.
You got to. You have to do it for the people, honey. You have
I-
to do it for the people.
I didn't even taste salted caramel. I tasted cardboard.
All right, here we go. Ingredient panel again: 20 grams of protein, 4 grams of glycerin, 9 grams of total sugar, 23 grams of carbs, 1 gram of fiber, 7 grams of total fat, 220 calories per bar. This one has whey protein crisps in it. That says protein. blend is the
Yeah, that'll cardboard with crisps, baby.
same. Maybe this one has crisps in it. Yeah, this one has.
Just look at it. It's sticky and thin and hard. It's gross.
Yeah.
Looks like a brick, but like a thin brick.
See, this one, it didn't look like there were any of those crisps in there. I guess there are, but that one.
Oh, nasty.
Yeah,
This is what you get for being cheap. Everybody hear that?
Sandy's spanking your protein bar.
That's hitting the table.
That's how you tenderize it.
I can't even. Oh God, I can't believe I'm gonna take a bite of this. Oh, it's even worse.
Is it? Is it worse?
Now I taste the salted caramel from the other one. I can't, Robert. It's just like in my mouth. It's just in my mouth. It's moving around. I can't. It was just rolling around in there like a dryer, you know, like you turn on the dryer and the shoes go. That's what it was doing in my mouth.
Well, you've just cost us our Gatorade sponsorship, so thanks. We're not going to be endorsed by Gatorade anymore for the show.
We're LSU fans. We're not supposed to drink Gatorade anyways. Go Powerade. Blech.
I'll let you read that while
Oh
I chew
gosh.
the shoe leather.
All right. That's hilarious. Thank you, Scott. Go ahead and tell the world while you chew that nasty thing. Go ahead, Robert. Swallow so you can tell the world what the comment says.
I'll let you read it.
It says the face you made is the same I make when one of my creatine capsules bursts in my mouth, and you don't know disgusting until you've had that. I agree with you.
Which
First of all,
form of creatine is it? Is it hydrochloride, monohydrate? Because monohydrate's not that bad.
he dry shoots everything. That's so weird.
We're going to do it right
Like,
now.
why do you dry shoot stuff? I can't. I'm like, one time though, I took a capsule of who knows what, and it was one of those clear capsules that was obviously like self-made. And without realizing it had gotten caught in my throat, and I didn't know, and I coughed, and my cough caused the capsule to bust open, and powder just came out of my throat as I coughed. Not the entire capsule, but like it had split open, and powder was just coming out of me. So gross. I'd like to say the nastiest thing that I've ever had in my life is Vegemite. So for those people in Australia, I need you to know Vegemite is bad. You are just used to it.
Okay, so if you want to try nasty ingredients, you don't have to do dry shoot this whole thing. This is Pico 2. Okay, Pico 2. Right there. So it's a mushroom extract. It's a blend of 6 different mushrooms, which has been shown to improve VO2 max and exercise
like
performance, time to
mushrooms.
exercise performance.
Shout out to Mushroom Guy. What's his name?
Paul Stamets.
Like that guy.
And then for all of you interested in doing this, you can go listen to the interview I did with Dr. Abby Smith Ryan at UNC Chapel Hill. She ran one of the first studies on that.
Did she?
Yeah, she
That's
did.
cool.
Yeah, so go check out that interview. That was a couple months back that one debuted. As far as nasty ingredients, there is a video of me out there on the internet dry shooting one of these capsules. And
How'd it
one of
go?
the scoops. It took us a while to get that down.
I drink that in milk. It
Yeah.
still tastes bad, but I mean,
Here,
it's
there,
fine.
I'll let you try some of that.
No, actually, I gotta be honest with you. It tastes bad, but it tastes like dirt. And as a child, we've all eaten dirt, intentionally or unintentionally.
Mhm.
That's not that bad. It's grounded. What I'm talking about, Vegemite, is like this yeast fermented thing. That stuff. What do you what?
This is the next one you're
Yeah,
gonna
that just
try.
tastes like dirt.
Let's
It
try the
doesn't taste
mushrooms.
good. It doesn't taste good, but it does taste like dirt.
All right, this is one of my favorite ingredients. Rhodiola. You've heard me talk about it before.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and try that.
It looks like cinnamon.
Yeah.
Looks like cinnamon.
Go ahead and
Okay.
try that.
Oh God! Oh God! Oh God! Oh God! Oh God! Oh God! It's still there. It took away all my saliva. I can't. Oh God!
Yeah.
I'm just sticking my tongue. Oh God!
You want to drink some of this? This has got pink lemonade.
Oh, what is that?
Do you want to eat the protein bar now?
Oh God! It takes away all the saliva in your mouth.
Yeah, that is
It's like an
rhodiola.
alien force that came in and infected my body, and it took away everything else.
That is one of my favorite nootropic ingredients. It is death to flavor. It is horrendous, but its effects are wonderful. It's got stuff. So,
People put it in pill form, I have to assume.
oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's also in Robbie's Overtime. It's in a couple of other pre-workouts and stuff. It's a bitch to flavor.
Yeah, I don't know, it's potent.
Oh yeah, it definitely.
That's
is.
the issue.
And I
It's
try
not
to
just that it
eat that
tastes
every
bad.
day.
There's like a something in it, it almost hits your nerves. That's how bad the taste is. It's like
Yeah.
what is that? What is it made out of?
Rhodiola. That's what it is. Rhodiola. It's a plant.
Plant?
Yeah, it's a plant.
My
All of these things are
God.
plants.
I have like a headache from it.
and
It's so bad.
but yeah, it's got stuff like exercise performance has been shown to improve endurance and exercise
How did
performance. in that
someone
way.
come up with who came up with it?
Well,
The
it's
second I taste this, I'll be like, hell no, I ain't putting that in my mouth.
well, it's,
Someone's like, well, if you take it, then it's going to improve you. Sorry.
it got used out of. It came out of most fun compounds, Soviets. It's been used there forever to like as an anti-fatigue, anti-stress agent. So
Yeah.
it improves mental fatigue, helps. Not improves mental fatigue, helps improve resistance to mental fatigue. So if you're feeling really run down or something, or you didn't
Oh, I
sleep
heard
well,
that.
you take between 200 and 680 milligrams.
So
of
would that help me if I'm not in the mood to work out?
It could, yeah.
That's
It's-
mental fatigue, baby.
Yeah. On days that I don't take any caffeine, I'll take some of that just because that's
Fascinating.
kind of like my home brew, non-caffeine like energy booster. Is I'll mix some of that with one or two other ingredients, one or two other nootropics.
Let's say I take caffeine in the morning for a nootropic. Am I allowed to take a pre-workout later that day?
It depends on what ingredients are in the nootropic and what ingredients are in the pre-workout.
Okay, because I'm just curious. Well, if I start working out in the morning, am I allowed to start with can you just hand me a pre-workout and I drink it while I'm in bed, or is that not a good idea?
I mean, yes, you can, but the thing is that when you are first waking up, your cortisol level is going to be at one of the highest points it is because your body is doing that to get your ass up and moving.
Okay.
So will you feel much added benefit from taking caffeine after you get that huge influx of cortisol in your system? Possibly, yeah. I mean, one thing I've noticed is that if I take a pre-workout within like my first 2 hours of waking up, I don't get nearly the punch from it that I do if I take it, like in the middle of the day or in the early afternoon. Now, that could be just the fact that it's just the caffeine. Caffeine's, I'm not super sensitive to it first thing in the morning. If I wait a couple of hours, I get a better jolt. What might be a better option is maybe a lower stimmed option, but more nootropics in there that'll kind of get you.
Okay.
I mean, but still, your brain is still kind of waking up, getting its shit together and all that stuff. So your neurotransmitters are shifting from that sleep state to that wakeful state. So you're not going to be fully ramped up with all the dopamine and acetylcholine flowing as it will be had you been working all day and everything's kind of optimized and then, banging and crunching on all cylinders.
If I take it right when I wake up and then I work out and then I get ready to go to work and I go to work, how long are the effects going to last of the nootropic?
It kind of depends on the ingredients. Caffeine's half-life is about 5.5 hours.
Okay.
So say you take 200 milligrams of
6
caffeine.
a.m.
You take 200 milligrams of caffeine at 6 a.m. By noon, you still got around like 100 milligrams floating in your blood somewhere.
Okay.
But I mean, you could easily re-up. I mean, if you wanted to. I mean, some people take it. If you get really addicted to caffeine, some people are like re-up in like every 90 minutes to 120 hours.
I don't want to compare myself to somebody who's addicted to caffeine.
No, but
That seems
I'm
like a
saying-
terrible.
No, but if you have, a pre-workout, like 150 to 200 to 300 milligram pre-workout first thing in the morning, and you want something at midday at lunch, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
I mean, we've got caffeine data, like I just said, up to 6 milligrams in an acute dose, but all the way up. The official stance from like the health governing boards and all that is 400 milligrams per day is
Wait,
like
they're
a
just
safe
saying
everyday limit.
blatant for everybody, no
Yeah.
matter how much you weigh.
Yeah, 400 milligram per day limit is safe for everybody. But that's the threshold is much higher. They've studied acute doses where people take 9 milligrams per kilogram in an acute setting, which, if you're a 100 kg athlete, that's 900 milligrams of caffeine. So 9 cups of coffee, or 8 to 9 really strong.
A cup of coffee is 100
on average, yeah, but that's going to depend on brewing methods, the style of bean, the roast of the bean, how long you let it steep in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's kind of like tea. The longer you let tea steep in water, the higher caffeine, the more concentrated the caffeine gets in there.
It should be the word steep, but it's fine.
Steep.
It's a pet peeve of mine. Why do we say steep, which as a math teacher means inclined, right? Like it's a steep hill versus like a shallow hill. And we steep our tea bag. That doesn't, I deep incline my tea bag, or do I seep it where you water seeps into the land or whatever. Steep makes more sense for a tea bag. I'm sorry. I'm just saying it's stupid. It's stupid. It's stupid. Stupid that we say steep. Yeah.
You steep your tea bag.
And that's what I used to say until you corrected me. And then I looked it up and you were apparently right. And that doesn't make any sense because I make more sense.
99% of the time, I'm always right.
It doesn't, it's stupid. Just because it's always been done that way doesn't mean it's the right way to be doing it.
Right. Should we have you try one more ingredient?
No, we're fine.
I'm tempted to have you try one more.
I'm like getting a headache just thinking about some of the nasty stuff that I just put in my mouth right now.
We're going to do one
I can't believe, seriously, a company like Gatorade would make something so nasty.
That is one of the worst tasty protein bars I've ever tried.
Like, that's not what my students eat. What the heck? How dare they? Okay, wait, that's why. I don't understand. No. They eat the whey protein bars that are normal.
I think they have different versions.
What the heck, man?
Okay, this is another adaptogen botanical. That's an awesome nootropic ingredient. The full dose of this, the Bacopa, is included in Nootropomax, which is one of my favorite kind of like fully formulated, pre-stock, pre-made formulas. So Nootropomax is one of my top favorites.
Do I like it?
Apollon Overtime. I haven't given you Nootropomax in a long time.
Okay.
But I like that a lot. I like Apollon's Overtime. I like Cognisurge, which is what I'm sipping right there. All right, so here you go. Go with that.
What is it?
Bacopa Monieri. This is the recognized thing.
Bacopa. So it's black.
Yeah.
It looks similar to the cinnamon, except it's a darker color.
Standardized to 45% bacticides.
Okay.
Memory improvements, long-term cognitive function. You got to take it daily and wait for several weeks. So about a month. After a month of using it, you start to notice.
I don't even want to let my tongue touch the rest of my mouth. It's on my tongue. If I touch the rest of my mouth, it's on the rest of my mouth. Oh.
This is a fun game to play. Well, one of your favorite skits on Top Chef is when they do the blindfold taste testing and they just throw the different kind of foods in there to try.
That's so bitter. I bet you think that tastes good, don't you?
I don't think it tastes good.
Do you think it tastes? You don't have the bitter gene. I always get mad at you with the bitter gene. This is where my amazing idea of plugging in and you could feel my pain. This is disgusting. It tastes like medicine, but like a medicine capsule that popped up in your mouth.
Rhodiola tastes infinitely worse than
Yeah, you say that because you can't
Bacopa.
taste bitter. That thing's bitter.
What do you think rhodiola is?
I don't know what rhodiola is. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's nasty, and I can't put my finger on how nasty it is. It's like it had a nerve. It's like it hit my nerves. That's how gross rhodiola was.
Mm-hmm. That bad? That bad? And in closing things out, I'm going to get your opinion. So we don't discuss branding a whole lot on here.
Oh, can I tell you what I think is pretty and what I think is ugly?
Well, this is what I want to get your opinion on.
What sells me?
This kind of dumb shit. So for the people that aren't that are going to watch this, I'm going to share my screen.
Well, I have a face. I made a face, so I think I can tell that it's not the best for me. So you're going to share your screen.
Yeah. I'm going to do that, and then this is what. So Swedish Supplements has launched an all-new pre-workout under the Busher series. Does this kind of like hardcore, I'm going to kill you, psychotic clown, death thing do? I mean, can you take a product seriously, regardless of how good the ingredients panel is? Because the initial ingredients that it shows, it's got 4 grams of citrulline, 3 grams of glycerol, and 3 grams of beta-alanine. It's got a gram of tyrosine, which I really like, 2 grams of arginine AKG, which is I think it's a dog shit ingredient for nitric oxide production. 0.5 gram of taurine, which I like, but I'd like it closer to like the 1 to 2 gram range. 300 milligrams each of epicatechin and glutathione. Glutathione, there's some studies showing certain versions of glutathione when paired with citrulline can improve blood flow and nitric oxide markers better than just citrulline by itself.
Okay. If you go up and I see that, no, that doesn't sell to me. And that's not something that I'd be interested in trying. Anything that's bloody or whatever, what I am interested in, if we were going to go strictly marketing, is something that makes me feel like a badass. Like something that makes me feel cool, like a samurai or something.
Well, does any of this?
No, that Sonic the Hedgehog would be a no for me.
No.
This one's cool. I love this one.
Oh, I can't believe you.
What? What did I say? Did I do something bad?
No, Redcon ones. You like their logo? I mean,
I do. It looks
they're-
badass.
well,
and you just
it's-
said Redcon one. That sounds badass.
well, it's a military
well,
inspired
I
theme
like
brand. So,
clean cuts.
well, yeah, there's just
looking sharp.
there's some
looks
things
sharp.
that may have happened or may be
What?
affiliated with the brand that just the people that listen to this and watch it know.
I don't know anything about Redcon one. All I know is I like their
Right.
branding. I like it.
Well, yeah, the branding
Looks
is good.
cool.
They are a major marketing machine.
Yeah, good job, guys.
Doing an essentials line and having a glutamine product,
Okay, all I'm saying is
And
I like clean cut things.
just
I
like
don't
these
like it looking
characters
crazy.
here with a CLA supplement. That's another
I
bullshit
mean, that one's
ingredient.
fine. That one was my favorite, hands down.
It's clean.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I like that. I like that marketing.
The spicy garlic.
The spicy garlic parm and the cherry wood. I wouldn't actually buy any of those, but I
Of
like
course
the
you
like the pretty. I like the prettiness aspect of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like things that appeal to my eyes aesthetically and look cool.
This is another kind of like
Nope.
hardcore brand.
Nope.
Thing.
Yeah,
Yes, that works.
yeah, the raw burn. I'm cool with that.
That's a newer company. Actually, I haven't delved into their formulas yet. Which that'll be something I'll probably talk
See,
about.
that's
at
had
some
a weight
point.
loss without a heavy stimulant, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brain gains. Does that if you're looking for a nootropic, does that jump out to you?
Sure, it looks a little like Nickelodeon-ish,
Yeah.
so I'm fine with that. I don't know. I agree. I don't like the things that make me feel weird, and I don't like the female things. Anything that looks girly,
Yeah.
I personally don't like because I can't help but think it's weak.
Well, this company we just trashed on
Because I'm
our
sexist.
roundtable that I did with Stack 3D, Fitness
Hi,
Deal
what is
News, and
Yeah.
Robbie. We tore their stuff to shit because they did like a women's pre-workout called
Yeah.
like Booty Builder.
Yeah, and
Booty
girls
Boost.
always want this girl version of things, and then I don't like
Dog
it.
shit product.
Right.
It's really, really
Like
poorly
bad
formulated.
quality.
Hey, Lucas. He said follow up our raw nasty tastings with that.
Okay, that is what I should have done. I should have gotten some Apple stuff. That is such a smarter idea.
You should have taken a big old swig of that.
Ah, I know, right? Like, I'm not really a big fan of the death things. I like badass things, right? So, like, the movie Kill Bill, love that movie, right?
Yeah.
She's sitting there with her sword and stuff. And what I liked about Kill Bill is, like, they're not trying to push the whole woman power thing. If we're clear, Bill's squad was mostly women.
Yeah, that the Viper assassination.
It was
squad, like,
mostly women. They were
Yeah.
badass. But at no point did I feel preached to like, oh, we're gonna do a movie about women that are strong. Like, I don't need your pity. I don't need your women strong. Yeah.
knew we were going to get a soapbox moment.
In
I'm so
the
happy when you get on
Avengers,
these.
the second, like, you know, there's like a million-
Endgame.
in Endgame, they do this completely unnecessary. We got it, and they take all the female characters, including, might I add, Gwyneth Paltrow. Like, Gwyneth Paltrow is wearing an Iron Man suit, which is great. But at the same time, you're not badass. Get out of the screenshot, lady. Like, oh, all the women are going to come in and fight. I'm like, I don't need that. Because if you look at the first Avenger Infinity War,
Yeah.
there's a bad girl fighting the other two girls, and they're fighting, and Wanda kills her. And she's like, where was she the whole time? Why was she up in the building? You know? And I was like, yeah. That felt authentic to me. It didn't
Right.
feel shoved down my throat. I don't need your pity with the women stuff. So if there's something marketed to women, I'm like, nah, I'm cool.
Yeah,
Now
or even
we're
like
good.
old school video games,
We're
like
good.
Lara Croft Tomb Raider.
She's
She was-
cool.
Right, she was a badass.
Yeah. I like stuff like that. I like cool, bad ninja
Mhm.
or samurai. Whoosh. Whoosh. I love stuff like that.
The photo at the top, I have no
Like
idea,
badass
Scott.
stuff.
I've never. I mean, it looks like it would be a death metal cover band or something like that, but
I don't like that.
I was never into the death metal scene. I'm a classic rock and
I like all music stands. You know, I don't like, what's it called?
EDM.
EDM.
Yeah.
The problem I have with EDM is I feel like it all sounds the same because the back beat is and it's just all the time. Let me tell you guys something. I had to chaperone a dance. Okay, so I'm chaperoning a dance. And all I heard all night, the theme was Euro Club or Euro something, and all they played was that Chick music. And the next song, like if the song would end, I was like, okay, good. And then the next song would come on, and I couldn't tell the difference. It was just a different singer, and it was just Chick. And I would look at my watch. I'm like, all right, okay, it's 9:22. We get done at 10. I can do this. And then I'd be like, okay, it's probably been like 20 minutes, and it would be 9:24. I was like, it was the longest school dance I ever had to chaperone. But those kids were sweating. I'll give them credit. As long as you're dancing, I'm fine with it. How do you dance to the metal music there? Just jump up and down, bang your head around?
I don't know. I mean,
I like dancing.
What is your ideal music to dance to?
Depends on my mood. Because I like all type of dance music, right? So I love like the whole Earth, Wind & Fire and Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, you know? But then I also like all kinds of like country line dancing. I like that. I think that's fun.
Yeah.
And I like salsa dancing, and I like 80s music dancing. I like all of it.
Dancing.
I like rap. But actually I don't. I like hip hop.
You like 90s hip hop.
I like hip hop more than rap. Yeah.
Early 90s hip hop.
Yeah. But I don't apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur. I like all that. Really good dancer.
Something like that.
You know what's funny is I fake dance in front of my students, and they laugh. I'm like, yeah, but I'm a really good dancer. I'm just choosing not to be good right now. But I am a really good dancer. I got skills. I just don't feel the need to show off in front of you. But at the same time, I want to state that the reason I'm such a bad dancer is because I'm such a good dancer. P.S.
You're so good you can be bad.
Yeah. Well, I can sing bad too. And I think that I'm a decent singer. So I think if you do it bad, like all the Saturday Night Live people that make fun of singers are really good singers. You know that, right?
Yeah.
So you gotta have skills to fake the bad skills. That's all I'm saying.
Got it. All right, guys, we're about hitting the hour mark. We are going to go get in our workout. Yes, you're doing it today. You're not getting out of it. Or you have to eat the rest of this Pico too.
And give me more of your drink.
Guys, thank you again, as always, for tuning in to these Wednesday Weekly Lives. We will be back next week, same time, same place. And stay tuned, because there's going to be some changes coming to the podcast. Again, we've got some more roundtable stuff coming up. We're deciding on the name. We're thinking some of the things. I mean, I discussed a few of the options with you.
I like Final Scoop the best.
So we shall see. But stay tuned. Drop comments below. If not, send me an email, and we'll catch you next time.